New emergency ban list for the TCG is here. We're going to go into exactly why this is an emergency, but first, what is going on with Master Duel? 2024 last year on October 22nd, this was a Tuesday, we received a ban list. Now, unfortunately for this ban list, it was literally just branded opening being semi-limited with the rest of the cards being fluff unlimits. Hopefully we don't get something similar to that, but it's now freaking Friday of the same week last year. Where is our ban list? Now, onto the TCG, they received a ban list last year at the early part of September 2024, and then December 2024 was their next ban list about 3 months later. Well, same thing this year, September 15th, 2025, about 2 weeks later than the year previously, but there's already a new ban list essentially within one freaking month. That is why this is an emergency. And a lot of you may be thinking, what the heck, I've been hearing the TCG is amazing, it's great. Actually, it was until they had this September 15th ban list, and then people were very much upset with the meta. Now, the YCS Anaheim under the most recent ban list was one of the most disgraceful displays of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever freaking seen. In the grand finale, neither player played a single card for their turn 2, meaning for all 3 games, the entire duel was decided in just turn 1. Now, for some of the duels, they would at least draw for their second turn, and then they would decide there's nothing they could do. But in the third freaking game where you have nowhere else to be, it's unlimited time, this is it. Cameron Neal didn't even look at the top card of his deck. He scooped before even drawing a card. That's how bad this was. Now, this is what the tier list is looking like for TCG right now within the last month. If you want to do tier 3 events only, there you go. Nothing really screams out as broken here, right? There's no tier 0 deck that needs to be addressed. Yummy, Draco Tail are closely tied in tournament performance, and then right behind it, very closely, is Mitsurugi and Mitsurugi Yummy. So really, what's going on beyond, I guess, a big part of the YCS Anaheim grand finales was the Mjollnir. I don't want to highlight the deck list because it may spoil some other ban list hits, as the Mjollnir was just locking the Cameron Neal out of game 1 and game freaking 3. Now, Cameron Neal for game 2 did not use some sort of floodgate against Kamal besides setting up essentially 10 plus disruptions to the point where Kamal was like, this is not even worth playing out. Let's just go to game 3. Now, without further ado, let's hop into the ban list for October 27th, which, 3 freaking days from now. All right. Let's do this. Changes. Newly forbidden. This means we're skipping semi-limit, limit, unlimited, straight to forbidden. So is this ban list just one card? What are we banning here? Protos from 1 to 0. This card is still allowed in Master Duel. Now, who's even playing this card at the moment? Protos. Well, essentially any deck that can make a rank 4 exceeds, because you can make a Banshee to then search for the Nemesis flag, which then could search for the Protos. And then among your cards, if you at least have 3 different attributes, you're good to summon the Protos. And if you are in a dark meta, which is what Mitsurugi is, also with the Master Duel, we have Malice. You just call Dark, and then Dark monsters cannot be special summoned until the end of the next freaking turn. Even more disruptive, if the meta is more custom tailored to a different attribute, you may have that different attribute on the field, maybe a fire. Declare fire with Protos. As long as you control the monster, that is the attribute you can declare to completely lock out the opponent here. And I believe this was banned, then unbanned, and now back to being banned. What is going on at Konami's office? What else we have here? Mjollnir, okay. I think this is the most obvious thing that would get freaking banned. Very happy to see this. I play on TCG simulators a lot. And in fact, last night when I was playing some Draco Tail, some freaking Crystron Mad Lad in 2 out of our 3 freaking games kept Mjollnir locking me, and there's nothing we can really do because they'll have the rank 5 Ripper, the Canine, which negates my hand traps. I had a ghost spell to even stop this from being summonable on my field, but they're able to just freaking negate. Absolutely disgusting, mate. The Dagda, I think, went up in price. Let's see, Dagda. And I think for good reason, because outside of an emergency ban list, nothing would happen to this card, right? So excuse the flashbang here as we load up TCG Player. All right, there we go. Look at the price of the card. This is because of the freaking YCS. Because of the YCS, the card skyrocketed, I guess, tripling in value. And now we have this emergency ban list to stop the Dagda from setting the Mjollnir from the freaking deck, thus locking the opponent out of the freaking duel. What the hell? So very happy that this is quickly addressed. And in fact, I felt dread. I did. Even though I casually played TCG on the simulators, the dread I felt was we just had a ban list, and Mjollnir is just now being discovered as being immensely viable within the Crystron deck, locking people out within the YCS finals. And then, of course, it's all over online if you want to casually play, as I have been doing. So very good on Konami to showcase that if there is a necessary issue to address outside of the regular ban list schedule, they will still hit it. So too bad for anyone that now lost money on buying Dagdas. But like what? At most you lost maybe $10. And if you're someone that bought 100 Dagdas, I don't really care if you're trying to play the freaking TCG market. Too freaking bad. Now, let's see what else we have here. We have Barrier Statue of the Droughts. Okay. Well, we are in a dark meta. So, well, even in the TCG in a way. So not being able to summon anything except Earth monsters, what's even good that's Earth? Well, I guess Fenrir, right, would be a good card to be summoning. Let's see the most popular Earth monsters here. Earth attributes. Ooh, you could still summon Lupus, Azuna, but then what are you rank 5 exceeding into? Baguska is not banned in the TCG. I guess we shouldn't be looking too much of this. We may just get spoiled. All right, so very good. Who was playing this? Stun decks, of course, right? Adamancipator was having some fun with it, even some Therion, maybe Naturia. This is even a recent deck list, actually. This is the OCG stats. So this wasn't even an issue in the TCG. What's up with that? 0 tournament tops, OCG stats, huh? So are they they're just hitting floodgates across the board or what? That is very interesting. Hitting a card before they think it'll be a problem. Okay, what else we have here? Another bear. Are we putting all the barriers on here? We're just gonna hit all of them. Neither player gets special summon except fire monsters. Okay, sure. Now, the barrier statue of the drought is a bit different here because if we look at Granite, the Granite could search it. Add a rock monster from your deck to your hand, meaning that if you can make a rank 4 Xyz without committing to your normal summon, you get to just search for the barrier statue, then normal summon it. And you can't really do that with the barrier statue of Inferno. Now, regular stun decks could just normally play this and hard draw it or draw into it and then just normal summon it. We have Fossil Dyna. Well, the same thing as the barrier statue of the drought. From 3 to 0, limited to 1 in Master Duel. You search, and this is happening in pure Mitsurugi in Master Duel. This should actually be on the Master Duel freaking ban list, not the TCG one, because I'm not sure how prevalent this was actually being used in TCG. Let's see. Mitsurugi, 6% using it, 100% of stun. I'm not going to highlight the deck here. It will showcase what else may be getting hit by the ban list. So some people are using it. What about side deck maybe? Yeah, okay, they're side decking it. Well, when they know they're going to go first, they could just side deck it very easily. The Mitsurugi deck, the pure version, does not take up the normal summon, thus they just make the easy Granite and normal summon the Fossil Dyna, where normally other people making the Granite with the Mitsurugi engine, they're searching for a Nibiru because they used up their normal summon already, or maybe they have integrity and don't want to win through, I'm kidding, blame the game, not the player. Now, what else do we have here? We are Fossil Dyna. Ooh, Granite searching for the barrier. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Why they hit barrier drought? Because they hit Fossil Dyna, and then you'll just be searching for the drought, so, and they would just look bad, right? You don't want egg on your face for that. So only because the Fossil Dyna was banned and this would have been the replacement is why the barrier statue of the drought was also banned. Makes sense. All right, now what else we got here? Evilswarm Ouroboros. Holy, they are just eradicating any and all toxicity. Protos and Mjollnir are essentially first turn kills. If you call the right attribute, that is a Protos. You pretty much first turn kill with the barriers and the Fossil Dyna if they don't hard open up an impermanence or a droplet even. And then Ouroboros, paired up with Eclipse Twins, is continually sending one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. You could do this 2 to 3 times within a good version of the deck. If you want to make the deck extra degenerate, you could even do it up to potentially 5 freaking times, but then your deck is very likely not even competitively viable. And even some people with a very normal turn 1 with a ton of disruptions, well, sometimes just Ouroboros 2 cards on your hand, in addition to their great freaking field. What the hell was that? So very happy about this. Right now in Macedol, I'm worried about this card. I hope it actually just gets banned preemptively because they have not released Eclipse Twins yet within Macedol. And there you see OCG and TCG across the board being banned. Macedol has to be up next. I don't want this to be a problem, then ban it. Just ban it before then, please. There's already so much issues with Macedol, with people not wanting to play the game. This will just make it even worse. What else we have? Dimensional Barrier. Wow. Dimensional, no one was playing this card in the main deck. You side deck this card, and you side deck it with Thrust. So if you know you're going first, and your opponent's going to hand trap you, they Fool Loss, they use Ash Blossom, you get to now triple tactics Thrust, set a Dimensional Barrier from your deck, and this shows up in almost every freaking duel. Oh, Machi, let's see if I could look at the tier list real quick for this card. It should be there. Side deck tier list, Dimensional Barrier, #1. There you go. #1 card used in the side deck. This used to be the place of Lancia, but then Malice got nerfed enough. What about OCG? Lancia is still #1 in the OCG. Dimensional Barrier down here. Holy moly. Yeah, this card is freaking everywhere. It can declare any attribute except Lynx is the only one. I was even having this used against me when I was playing freaking Ritual. The other night I was playing Draco Tail. They kept on dimensional barriering me, but actually with Draco Tail I felt like it wasn't affecting me as much. It felt more of a desperation from them, which I was kind of okay with this. But otherwise, this does immensely shut down a ton of strategies. I hate playing against this, but I use it myself. It's something I do resort to. So again, it's blame the game, not the player. I gotta say, this is making me want to hop on a TCG simulator as soon as this ban list hits, because I haven't been affected by Protos or the Fossil Dinosaur Berry statues recently, but I'm getting Mjollnir like crazy, and I keep on getting Dimensional Buried. I'm also not being affected by Ouroboros despite playing quite a bit. What else? I mean, what else could there even be? What else is a problem card? That is the full changes. Holy moly, nothing limited, nothing semi-limited, nothing unlimited, just straight up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards freaking banned. And cards that I think made the TCG so incredibly toxic. What else is toxic within the TCG? What? Maybe they missed something, right? They're okay with a little bit of toxicity. Let's take a little gander at that. Let's type in Floodgate. Floodgate, most popular Floodgate, skill drain at 1. I never really see that. Winda, I don't really see that being used. I don't really see there can only be 1. I don't see Secret Village being used as much. I guess they truly did hit the most problematic Floodgates that we're actually seeing use. Yeah, okay, interesting. OCG Floodgates, Colossus is not really an issue. So, wow. Big, good job to Konami TCG, and I very much hope that OCG follows in suit. I think Mjollnir, while it's not as prevalent in Macedol, during the latest Duelist Cup, it was. Multiple spots in the top 10 global, many spots within the top 100. This card does not exist, is allowed to exist. It should not be allowed to exist. I very much hate this. Not cool at all. And especially when paired up with Canine, where they could even negate a hand trap that you're holding on to stop the Mjollnir play. Absolutely disgusting. And Gem Knight, similarly to Canine, Ripper is able to just hold their Hollow Core Engraver to negate your play that wants to stop the freaking Mjollnir lock. What are some reactions on Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta? Then we're going to look on Macedol Meta. I'm starting to play again because of this. This is why I'd want to play more in the simulators. And I got to say, I loaded up a duel and with the Draco Tail because I wanted to learn the deck better, and then just getting my very first match, getting back-to-back Mjollnir, it felt like absolute shite. I was just like, what am I doing with my time? I was really mentally simulating that I was going to a weekly locals and I'm getting Mjollnir at round 1, and I'd be like, thank God I have not wasted my time. Thank God I didn't drive there, own the cards, expect a real tournament day just to get Mjollnir. I would probably just quit the entire game on the spot and sell my cards, because this is a recurring issue. This is not just a knee-jerk reaction of, oh, I'm getting floodgated, what the heck, this is unfair. It's just, floodgates have always been an issue in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've been consistent with that even playing Yu-Gi-Oh! More than 10 years ago, where the cards that you cannot respond to inherently, that you have to just draw the out to. I think that is the worst part about Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down, to the point where I've even recommended some sort of master rule change where any continuous spell or traps inherently out themselves within, let's say, 3 freaking turns, so that you have more of a chance instead of just draw the MST or the Cosmic Cyclone or some nonsense. What else do you have? What did Barry, the drought was going to be replaced, the replacement for Fossil Dyna. There you go. Being a rock. Yep, thank you. I know I want to, did the statues exist? If called by Talents and Droll were here, isn't Talents banned or limited to 1? Talents is limited to 1. Okay, it's 93 freaking points in Genesis, though. What the heck? Shockingly good list. Yeah, well, this is an emergency ban list. I think Jesse is right that Imperial Princess would be the correct hit instead. So this is what was enabling the Mjollnir. And I guess the question of doing hits is you want to limit collateral damage. So you would, for 2 things you'd want to check, is this being used outside of Mjollnir lock? And if not, then this would be a good hit. And then what about Mjollnir? Is this being used, well, how else are you freaking using this? So saying that this should be hit instead, no. I disagree with that 100% because if you ban this, people will probably find another way to get Mjollnir on the opponent's side of the field. Now, if you know every single existing card within Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's no other way to get Mjollnir, then sure, if you accounted for everything. But I'm sure they're probably maybe a much less consistent, much less viable way. Just hit this card instead. Why risk looking bad on, hey guys, we did what you wanted, we banned the card that's summoning the Mjollnir. Well, what else could now freaking do it? So let's read this card real quick. You could add it special summon, whereas it's to either field. So I guess like either field would be a term that you'd want to be looking at. Special summon to either field, maybe. Special summon it to either field. What other cards say something like that? Service gimmick play, Parl or some nonsense. What is the expulsion card? What's the wording on that? 1 on each field. So it's like either field, each field. It's just, why are we going to play whack-a-mole? Freaking Albion Sanctifier could still summon the Mjollnir onto each side of the fields. So it just, come on. Let's not dance around the issue. This doesn't deserve to exist. It's not naturally being played in artifact decks that are now like, oh no, my Mjollnir card I just like using in my innocent deck. No. No, 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 no. All right, let's see Master Duel Meta's reaction to the ban list real quick. I think a lot of people would want something like this onto Master Duel itself. There's a lot of copium that Master Duel needs something big because of how many players are leaving the game. It's got such an immensely low player count that you would hope that Konami responds in some way. We will die of old age and we'll never get a ban list this good in Master Duel. Yeah, I think that's going to be a common sentiment of this ban list of what is Konami OCG doing? Why can't they apply the same energy in Master Duel? See, you're going to feel jealous here. I'm immensely envious at them having a reactive ban list like this in response to the TCG meta being trash. And I'm going based off of the YCS finals there. That was so horrendous. Rare Konami W. Dang, they really hate Protos. They just unhit it, then they hit it again. Yeah. All right, so good job on Konami. Get rid of the first turn kill Floodgate nonsense. Even if you're not inherently floodgating your Ouroboros or ripping multiple cards of the freaking hand. Post side deck duels are a joke when whoever has the freaking dimensional barrier potentially wins the duel. It's good job. Good freaking job. But didn't they forget some barriers here? Barrier of the Inferno. What about the other barriers? Are there unhit barriers? Barrier Statue of the Winds is hit. Barrier, let's do monster. How many cards have barrier in their freaking name? Main deck, barrier. The freaking nice barrier statue. There you go, barrier stat. The Torrents, the Abyss, and the statue of, I guess light and dark monsters are forever good in Yu-Gi-Oh! So these will never be good because of that. Even then, barrier statue, the Abyss should be seeing use in Chimera. Now, Chimera's not really a relevant deck here, but barrier statue, the Torrents, I mean, I would think this card is still pretty good, but the fact that you only have this and you don't have the Fossil Dyna or the other barrier statues with it, because it's not going to be worth it to play the Abyss nor the Heavens. So maybe they don't want to completely obliterate your usage of it. So they should say no recent usage data because this is old. 2024 is back when Chimera was abusing the barrier statue of the abyss. So there you go. All right. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully tonight there should be another banless video for Master Duel because again, we're multiple days freaking late, Konami. What's going on?